question I hear a lot at school and on the internet is, how can I be successful? My answer to this question is simple: fail. Now I know, that sounds stupid, or even counterintuitive, but let me elaborate. Success is not being afraid to fail. Success is failing 100 times and succeeding once. Success is learning from every failure you make, no matter how small or large. This form of success is called self-improvement, or better summed up in one word as Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word that simply means continuous improvement. You are constantly tweaking certain aspects of your life and making adjustments to do better. Every misstep, mistake, and miscalculation is a stepping stone towards the eventual goal of success. And here's an example of Kaizen. For my freshman year, my English teacher assigned us a long-term project called Genius Hour. Essentially, we were to choose some sort of skill or goal that we wanted to practice and work on, and eventually accomplish by the end of the year. I decided that I wanted to train for and run a half marathon under 2 hours. At least that was the quantifiable goal. Better on paper, my real goal was, well, I wanted a sticker. My dad had impulsively bought me a sticker that said 13.1, which is the distance of a half marathon in miles, and I knew deep down that my stupid ego would forbid me from sticking it on anything until I actually ran the race. So of course, I went online, looked up half marathon near me, and found a race nearby. This race was in Santa Teresa County Park and was 13.1 miles of hills that went straight to the moon, creamy and gooey mud galore, slippery and sharp rocks everywhere, and your good old friendly neighborhood rattlesnakes. My training regime was to run 5 to 10 miles a week and includes some hill training, which is just running up and down a hill over and over. This was on top of my normal gym regimen and my volleyball practice in Monterey, since at the time I was a setter on a club volleyball team. I followed this schedule of running 5 to 10 miles a week for about 10 weeks, and I ran a 5K and a 10K during this time as well to reacclimate myself with longer distance races. And then I got lazy. Very, very lazy. I stopped running entirely, and I started using excuses. I have too much homework. I'm too busy. I don't need to. I don't want to. I began to rely on my current level of fitness instead of trying to improve it. Race day finally came, and it whooped my butt. And so the race went. Long story short, it sucked. Long story long, well, I actually ran the first 7 or so miles of hills, rocks, and rattlesnakes pretty well. My previous experience of running cross country in middle school and my training, albeit not great, helped me here. However, my lack of sufficient improvement on these pre-established skills really showed itself on the second half of the race. This was the absolute worst part of the entire race, a 6-mile loop of the steepest hills I had ever encountered in my life. At one point, I collapsed from fatigue at the bottom of one of the countless hills. My legs had cramped up so bad, it was nearly impossible for me to bend them. I put my head between my legs and I almost started crying. I had just passed the 10-mile rest stop, and the idea of not finishing this race already flooded my mind. I thought, I can make it back to the stop, tell the guy I'm done, I'm finished, and he'll put me in a nice truck, he'll drive me back to the finish line, and this pain will be over. But something said no. Something stopped me. It was that damn sticker. A little sticker that said 13.1 in big, bold letters that was probably $5. If I didn't finish this race, that sticker would sit forever on my desk, collecting dust and haunting me. So I picked myself up. I looked at the crest of that hill, and somehow I willed myself up that hill. And then I did that for the next, and the next, and the next. You get the idea. Sometimes I had to stop to take a rest. I had to cling to a tree because the hill was so steep and the mud went halfway up my calves. When I finally finished the race, a wave of happiness came over me, and not because I had just finished a half marathon, but because I knew that the sticker now had a home on my laptop. I was nowhere near the 2-hour mark goal I had set, but who cares? I got a sticker. And although it may seem I essentially failed my Genius Hour goal, I actually succeeded. I succeeded in improving myself and learning my limits. I now know that no matter how much pain I feel I am in, I had the ability to push through. And so there it is on the cover of my laptop. And there's one more thing up there, right below that very stylish Bruno Mars sticker. That's Kaizen. And so I applied Kaizen to another thing I enjoy in my life, basketball. So I'm an avid NBA watcher. Go Warriors! I can spit out stats, percentages, player names, etc. On the other hand, I pretty much suck at playing basketball. I never played for a team in elementary or middle school, or had any real interest in playing the sport itself until high school. About 9 months ago, the gym I go to had a hoop installed, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to finally practice some basketball. And here's the hitch. Like I said, I don't have any real training, nor an instructor, and I did go to one Warriors training camp when I was 8 years old, and I did win a certificate. But not for best shooter, not for best dribbler, not even the coveted most improved, but for cleanest stat sheet, because everyone else's was crumbled up into a ball or had Cheeto stains on it. I also have no idea what I'm doing or doing wrong. I don't know if my elbow is in the right place, if my offhand isn't interfering with my shot, if I'm jumping correctly, if my release at the same right time. I have no idea what I'm doing. But what I do know is that I'm driven by Kaizen. And my stubborn self, who wants to think that I'm Steph Curry with a shot. My quantifiable goal is to practice a consistent shooting form and make about 40% of my shots. My real goal, I want to be good enough at basketball so that when I go play at the CRC with my baller Asian friends, I don't look like an idiot anymore. And so for these past 9 months, I've been shooting consistently at the gym, and I said shooting consistently, not making those shots consistently. I've seen slow but steady improvement. Mostly, it's been frustrating. It seems that every day that I have a great shooting day, I just can't seem to miss. I'm in full Steph Curry mode. The next day, I feel as if I can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. And even after all this painful and tedious practice, I still suck at basketball. But I've made maybe 5%, or maybe even 10% improvement. And after a while, this will accumulate. And according to math, I'll be Steph Curry at some point. And so that's the whole point of Kaizen. It's going to be tough. It's going to suck. But as long as you push through and stay committed, you will see success, and even if you fail, you will still have learned something. Most people in this room would say that if they could go back in time, they would correct a mistake they'd made, or change a failure so the outcome was successful. I personally cannot think of a single mistake or failure that I would change in my life. Not a single one. Well, besides being single, but for real, I've made so many mistakes and I've failed so many times in my life, but every single one of them has shaped me into the person who stands before you today. If I remove just one mistake, one failure, I'm not the same person. Looking back at my life, I am happy with how far I have come and my accomplishments, but I am not satisfied. And this is exactly how I think of Kaizen. Be happy, but never be satisfied. To put that in perspective, I'm happy after I drink a boba tea. I'm not satisfied. I want more. Think like this in life. The only requirement for Kaizen to work is for you to be self-disciplined. If you're thinking right now, couldn't he just put the sticker on his laptop anyways and just lie? Then you'd be A, correct, and B, never successful. If you are okay with complacency and mediocrity, then you will never see the success you dream of. I know, that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You have to be willing to improve yourself, no matter how comfortable painful or boring it may be. You have to hate losing more than you like to win, because when you do eventually fail, you must learn everything you can from that failure, and then you will fail again because you are human, and the process will repeat itself. This is Kaizen. It doesn't sound fun, but it's the truth. But it can be applied to the smallest things in life, and it is possible. Every single one of you has what it takes to be Kaizen. You just have to fail. Thank you.